It's time for the cosine ratio. The cosine ratio, the secant ratio, and inverse cosine are the three main vocabulary words that are going to be showing up in this lesson. Remind you, as lesson 4 is being our focus, we're coming off of the conversation on tangent and sine as the other two ratios that you're going to need to know regarding the sides of right triangles. We're going to define the relationship between the lengths of the adjacent side and the hypotenuse in a right triangle. We're going to call that cosine. So it's adjacent and hypotenuse. That's the big idea. We're going to talk about how cosine and secant are related. Hint, spoiler alert, they are reciprocals of each other. We're going to use the cosine and secant ratios in right triangles to solve for unknown side lengths, and we're going to use inverse cosine to find the unknown angle measure in right triangles. Let's review. Here we go. We have a triangle NPS, and we're going to calculate the value of sine P. Well, this triangle is drawn this way on purpose because, first of all, we should figure out what the reference angle is. And if they say the letter sine P right there, I'm going to pause for a second. You should do the review first, pausing the video. After you've done the review, then watch me do it, just to see if you remember. This is not meant to be new learning, so you should be able to do this learning on your own, okay? Pause the video, work them out, and then come back and check. Or play the video like sporadically just to see if you're doing things right when you get stuck and you need a little bit of extra help, okay? And skip to the end of the video and see if we did it right. Here we go. You're still here, I'm here, so let's go. We're gonna use Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared to figure out the value of Sn. That side length is not known. Let me zoom in. So I'm saying C is the hypotenuse. And then if sine P is identified, that's our reference angle. That means Sn is the opposite side of our reference angle. Call that A. And then the adjacent side is the only one that's left, but adjacent means next to. So that's that side, B. Using Pythagorean theorem, putting our C and our B into the formula, we can solve for A. So this is work on the side. We're going to do question mark squared plus 24 squared equals 25 squared. 24, 25. Now I need some help on this one. I can figure out where my device is. Hey Siri, what's 24 squared?
It's 576.
Okay, this is 576. Hey Siri, what's 25 squared?
It's 625.
Question mark squared plus. Hey Siri, what's 625 minus 576?
It's 49.
49. So I'm going to subtract 576 from both sides, which means question mark squared is the results, the difference between them. And then I have to square root, and I know this one. The square root of 49 is 7. So this means 7 is our missing side length. Now to calculate the value of sine P, the sine of angle P, it's the opposite divided by the hypotenuse. That would be 7 over 25. Next up, calculate the measure of angle P. If you don't know the measure of the angle, use inverse. So the measure of angle P will equal sine inverse of 7 over 25. We need the yellow calculator for this one. Make sure your calculator is in degree mode, and I know I've got a glare, so let me see if I can tilt the screen a little bit. So I'm in radian mode right now. The way to change it out of radian mode is to click on the gear, like that's right next to the word radian, and then go down to document settings and change the document settings into degrees. So I'm just using the thumb pad in order to do that. Once it's in degrees, I'm going to go down to make default and lock that in. And of course, it wants to make sure I didn't change everything up, so I'm going to click OK. And it's set it up. And it's reloading the thing. Get yourself a better calculator. After that does that, though, I'm going to go type sine inverse of 7 over 25, and we'll see what answer we get. Now, mind you, the last question, the measure of angle n, the measure of angle n is going to be 90 minus the measure of angle p. So once I know what angle p is, when the calculator finishes loading, all I got to do is subtract. Okay, I'm looking at this one. It's making it default. We've got it set up here. I'm looking for radian to be in the spots. Still waiting. Good thing you paused. Just skip forward. Skip forward. Okay. Broken. Okay, there we go. Degree mode. Degree mode established. Degree mode established. So now the trig button, sine inverse, 7 divided by 25. Angle P is a 16.26 degree angle. And to find the measure of angle N, do 90 minus that number. And if I press the minus button, see how it says ANS above it and that's yellow? I want to use that answer in the mathematics, like how I have measure of angle P here, but I don't want to type it all in again. So a shortcut is to go control answer, and it will bring up the math to subtract it. Doing that, I figure out angle N is a 73.74 degree angle. Okay, technical difficulty, but we made it. You're here at the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Cosine is the next stop on our journey, so let's get into it. Let's learn a little bit about the cosine ratio. See you in the next episode.